At nearly 10,000 feet, there are U.S. towns where winter cuts off roads, groceries arrive by luck, and growth is treated like a threat. Sounds fake, it's not. Here's the problem. We're told America is mapped, tamed, optimized, but some mountain towns never got the memo. They survived collapses, fires, avalanches, and then quietly kept going. So today, we're counting down 10 U.S. mountain towns that feel illegal to exist, ranked by isolation, elevation, and how hard they make life on purpose. Some banned chains, one debated not plowing roads, and one town exists where most people would quit by Tuesday. Quick question, could you live here? Like the video if this makes your city feel soft. Subscribe, because knowing where not to move is a life skill. Let's break it down. Number 10. Terlingua, Texas. If you move to Terlingua, Texas, your neighbors won't judge you. Mostly because half of them are ghosts, and the other half don't believe in paperwork. This place sits at the edge of Big Bend National Park, baked into the desert like an afterthought. No traffic lights, no grocery store, no real town center, just ruins, trailers, and a bar that doubles as city hall in spirit. People come here chasing freedom, silence, the idea that society is optional, but then reality shows up, dehydrated. Here's what nobody tells you. Population? Roughly 100 permanent residents, depending on heat and patience. Median home price? Shockingly low, often under $150,000, but home is doing a lot of work there. Crime rate? Technically low, but law enforcement is over an hour away. Jobs? Almost non-existent unless you count tourism, art, or selling chili-based merch. Summer temps? 110 degrees Fahrenheit plus regularly, with limited emergency services. Surprisingly, power outages aren't rare, they're seasonal. Living here costs less money, but more resilience. Water is hauled, internet is fragile, medical help is a gamble. And yet, people stay. Because Terlingua doesn't reward comfort, it rewards commitment. Also, can we talk about the rustic charm thing? That's not charm, that's your wall missing. That's just a hole. Stop romanticizing holes. Terlingua isn't off-grid by accident. It's off-grid on purpose, and if you think this town feels illegal to exist, wait until you see the next one. Number 9. Creede, Colorado. Creede looks like a quiet Colorado postcard. Wooden storefronts, empty streets, mountains doing most of the talking. But this town didn't start cute, it started violent. In the 1890s, Creede was so lawless it attracted Doc Holliday and Bat Masterson like a group chat for trouble. Today, it sells peace, quiet, and fly fishing vibes. But then you try to live here. Here's the reality check. Population, approximately 290 people. Blink and you've met everyone. Elevation, 8,852 feet. Oxygen is optional, apparently. Median home price, roughly $400,000 plus. Cheap for Colorado, expensive for isolation. Rentals, scarce. Seasonal, competitive in a town with one main street. Jobs, mostly tourism, government, or remote work, if your internet behaves. Crime rate, low now. The chaos retired before you arrived. Living in Creede means trading convenience for quiet. Winters are long, roads close, groceries require planning. Emotionally, it's calm. Financially, it's not a steal, it's a commitment. Yeah, it's affordable if you already own skis, patience, and a backup generator. Also, why does every small mountain town act shocked when it snows? You're at almost 9,000 feet. This is not a surprise event. Plows roll out like, wow, again? Yes, again. Every year. Same month, same town. Be honest, could you live in a town where Walmart is a day trip? Yes or no? Creede survived a boom, a bust, and history itself. And if you think a town that already lived through chaos is intense, wait until the next place, where nature's the one calling the shots. Number 8. Mogollon, New Mexico. Mogollon isn't a town so much as a decision. No cell service, no police department, no grocery store, and depending on the season, maybe no neighbors. This place clings to the edge of the Gila wilderness like it lost a bet with modern life. People hear ghost town and expect empty. Mogollon's worse. It's selectively alive. But then you try staying the night. Let's get specific. Population, anywhere from 0 to 15. That's not a typo, that's a mood. Elevation, approximately 6,700 feet, enough to thin the air and your patience. Housing, no real market. Cabins, ruins, off-grid setups, Zillow gave up. Crime rate, technically near zero, mostly because paperwork would require witnesses. Jobs? None locally. Survival depends on savings, remote work, or radical self-sufficiency. Upside? Housing costs are laughably low if you can handle hauling water and fixing everything yourself. Living in Mogollon strips life down to essentials. No convenience, no backup plan. Emotionally, it's peaceful until it's isolating. Financially, it's cheap until one breakdown costs you a 3-hour drive. Yeah, crime is low. So is everything else, including help. Quick pause. There's no mail delivery here. None. Amazon looks at this place and says, no. Also, can we stop pretending off-grid is aesthetic? That's not a vibe. That's you troubleshooting solar panels at dusk while questioning your life choices. Rustic charm ends fast when your water pump makes a noise it's never made before. Remember Terlingua's rustic charm? This is that, minus witnesses. Mogollon doesn't want residents, it wants believers. And if you think this place feels abandoned, wait until the next town, where isolation isn't accidental, it's enforced. Number 7. McCarthy, Alaska. If convenience matters to you, McCarthy already hates you. To get here, the road stops miles early. You park, walk across a footbridge, and hope you packed right. McCarthy sits near Wrangell St. Elias National Park, surrounded by glaciers, mountains, and silence that feels intentional. It used to support one of the richest copper mines on Earth. Now, it supports about 50 people, and a lot of opinions about self-reliance. Sounds romantic, but then winter shows up. Let's talk facts. Population, approximately 50 year-round residents. You don't blend in. Cost of living, 30 to 40% higher than the US average. Shipping is not a suggestion. Housing, limited, seasonal, often shared. Renting is less lease and more agreement. Jobs, tourism, park services, or running something yourself. Remote work if the internet cooperates. Crime rate, extremely low. Ironically, safer than many cities with streetlights and police stations. McCarthy is statistically safer than parts of major US cities, yet one wrong decision outdoors can end your whole week or life. Living here rewires you. Emotionally, it's peaceful until it's isolating. Financially, you spend less on entertainment and more on fuel, repairs, and patience. Community matters because it has to. Yes, crime is low. The weather handles most threats personally. Also, supplies. Everything is a mission. Milk is a strategy. Forget one item, and suddenly you're inventing recipes like it's a survival show. People say you get used to it. No, you adapt and then judge cities for being soft. McCarthy didn't shrink by accident. It chose quiet over growth. And if you think this level of isolation is extreme, the next town takes hard to reach and adds a new rule you didn't see coming. Number 6. Jerome, Arizona. Jerome looks like a postcard that slipped and never recovered. A former copper boomtown stapled to a cliff, streets stacked instead of spread, buildings leaning like they're tired of pretending everything's fine. People call it an arts town now, a haunted town, a quirky mountain escape. All true, but that's the brochure version. Living here is a different contract. Let's put numbers on the weird. Population, approximately 450 full-time residents. Tourists outnumber locals by a lot. Elevation, 5,226 feet, which means cooler temps and steeper everything. Median home price, roughly $500,000 to $600,000. Shockingly high for a town that's still moving downhill. Rent, limited inventory, often $1,200 to $1,800, if you find anything at all. Crime, mostly low-level property stuff, tourism-related, not chaos. Jobs, tourism, galleries, hospitality, or remote work. The art pays in exposure and rent anxiety. Now the government part nobody talks about. Jerome is a National Historic Landmark. That sounds fancy. It also means if you want to fix, repaint, remodel, or even sneeze on your house, you're negotiating with preservation boards. You don't own your home so much as temporarily steward it. HOA energy, but with history degrees. Emotionally, Jerome messes with you. It's inspiring. It's exhausting. Financially, it's not cheap, but it's not scalable either. Growth is capped on purpose. Chains are discouraged. Zoning is strict. The town chose character over expansion and now lives with that choice every day. Yes, the town is haunted, mostly by old miners and permit paperwork. Also, the hills. Nobody warns you about the stairs. Everything is stairs. You don't walk to town, you descend into it like a ritual. Groceries become leg day. Friends say, it's just up the road. No, it's up the vertical. Jerome doesn't believe in flat. Picture this: morning fog rolling through the valley, church bells echoing, coffee in hand. Then you remember you left your phone charger in the car. 3 flights down, character building begins. Jerome survives by saying no to chains, to growth, to convenience. And if you think a town that's literally sliding downhill is wild, the next place didn't slide, it vanished, then dared people to come back. Number 5. Hancock, Michigan. Hancock doesn't look extreme until winter decides to prove a point. This is a college town on the edge of Lake Superior, where snow isn't weather, it's infrastructure. People hear Upper Peninsula and imagine cozy cabins. What they miss is that Hancock quietly lives inside one of the most aggressive snow machines in North America. It's calm, it's friendly, and then it buries you. Here's the data behind the frostbite. Population, approximately 4,600, boosted by Michigan Tech students. Snowfall, 200 to 250 inches per year. That's not a bad winter, that's average. Cost of living, well below the national average, especially housing. Median home price, roughly $170,000 to $200,000. Yes, still real. Crime rate, low. Like, leave your car running low. Jobs, education, healthcare, engineering spillover, or remote work, if your internet survives storms. Quality of life, surprisingly strong, if you're built for darkness. Living in Hancock costs less money, but more sunlight. Winters are long, days are short. Emotionally, that can hit hard, but socially, people show up. Neighbors help dig you out. Community here isn't branding, it's survival. Snow days aren't canceled here, they're scheduled. Also, why does every snowstorm get a personality? Oh, this one's a beast. No, it's snow. Again, you don't need drama. You need a shovel that hasn't emotionally given up. And stop asking if spring is coming. Spring is a rumor. Picture it. Dead quiet streets, fresh snow glowing blue at night, boots by the door, sauna heating up, lake wind humming like static. It's peaceful until you remember you forgot milk. Ironically, Hancock feels safer walking at midnight in a blizzard than some warm cities feel at noon. Be honest, could you handle 6 months of winter if it meant cheap housing? Yes or no? Hancock doesn't scare people away, it just waits to see who stays. And if you think snow is the hard part, the next town survives something far less predictable. Number 4. Ruidoso, New Mexico. Ruidoso sounds like a loophole. A mountain town in southern New Mexico where pine trees replace desert, summers stay cool, and elk casually block traffic like they pay rent. Ski town energy, cabin vibes. People move here thinking they found balance, mountains and sunshine, nature and comfort. And for a while, it works. But then the environment reminds you who's actually in charge. Here's what the numbers say. Population, approximately 7,600, but it swells hard on weekends and holidays. Elevation, 6,900 feet, high enough for snow, low enough for fires. Median home price, around $350,000 to $400,000, rising fast. Rent, limited, seasonal, often $1,300 to $2,000, thanks to short-term rentals. Crime, generally lower than state averages, but property crime spikes during tourist seasons. The real stat? High wildfire risk and flash flooding, sometimes in the same year. That's not dramatic, that's documented. Living in Ruidoso means emotional whiplash. 1 month it's ski runs and fireplaces. The next, it's evacuation alerts and smoky skies. Financially, insurance costs creep up. Stress does too. But people stay, because beauty rewires risk tolerance. Nothing keeps you humble like owning snow chains and an evacuation plan. Also, tourist traffic. For a town this small, the weekends feel illegal. Every Texas license plate shows up at once like it was coordinated. Locals just wait it out, staring at the road like, they'll leave. They always leave. Picture it. Crisp air, pine needles crunching, coffee steaming while clouds slide between mountains. It feels safe, calm. Then you remember this peace exists because everyone's watching the weather, constantly. Ruidoso survives by adapting faster than it plans. And if you think a town juggling fire, snow, and floods is unstable, the next place rewrote the rules of community altogether. Number 3. Bisbee, Arizona. Bisbee feels like a town that forgot to update its operating system, and now refuses to. Built into a canyon near the Mexico border, it's stacked, crooked, colorful, and aggressively itself. Former copper powerhouse, now an artist magnet, a retiree refuge, and a place where stairs outnumber parking spots. People come for the vibe. They stay for the altitude-adjusted defiance. But living here isn't the same as visiting for the weekend. Let's ground it in data. Population, approximately 5,000. But it feels smaller because nobody's ever in a hurry. Elevation, 5,500 feet. Cooler than southern Arizona expects. Median home price? Around $300,000 to $350,000, climbing as outsiders discover it. Rent? Limited, often $1,200 to $1,700, with older housing stock. Crime? Property crime runs higher than the Arizona average. Violent crime stays relatively low. Jobs? Tourism, art, service work, or remote. Mining money left. Creativity replaced it, without benefits. Bisbee asks for emotional flexibility. It's charming until it's inconvenient. Affordable-ish until repairs hit. Socially warm, but private space is rare when everyone knows your dog's name. You trade polish for personality, stability for story. Yes, it's quirky. No, that doesn't fix the plumbing. Parking here is performance art. You don't find a spot. You negotiate with gravity, parallel park on a slope, then walk uphill like it's penance. Everyone says, you get used to it. You don't. You just stop complaining out loud. Bisbee didn't reinvent itself. It just refused to disappear. And if you think a town built on leftovers is unpredictable, the next place took reinvention to an entirely different level. Number 2. Ketchikan, Alaska. Ketchikan sells itself as rugged coastal charm. Totem poles, fishing boats, rainy postcards. The kind of place that looks calm from a distance until you realize it's wedged between mountains and ocean with no road out. This town doesn't sprawl, it stacks. Houses climb hills, walkways replace streets, and water isn't nearby, it's everywhere. Sounds peaceful, but living here means negotiating with isolation daily. Let's talk reality. Population? Approximately 8,000, but cruise season temporarily doubles it. Rainfall, 150 plus inches a year. Sunshine is a guest appearance. Cost of living, 30 to 40% above national average, mostly food and utilities. Median home price, around $350,000 to $400,000. Limited supply, steep terrain. Rent, often $1,400 to $2,000, with competition. Jobs, fishing, tourism, healthcare, government, or remote if storms don't knock you offline. Crime, generally low violent crime, but property crime trends higher than you'd expect. Ketchikan averages rain on 2 out of every 3 days. That's not weather, that's a lifestyle choice. Living here messes with your head. Emotionally, the isolation is real. No road trips, no quick exits. Financially, groceries cost more, heating costs more, patience costs everything. But the payoff? Tight community, unreal scenery, and silence that cities can't fake. Yes, it's beautiful. No, your clothes will ever be dry again. Also, umbrellas are useless. Everyone lies about them working. The rain comes sideways, upwards. Emotionally, you don't dodge it, you surrender. Locals don't even mention rain. That's how you know it won. Ketchikan survives by leaning into what it can't escape. And if you think a town surrounded by water is boxed in, the last place on this list cuts itself off on purpose. Number 1. Silverton, Colorado. Silverton shouldn't work. A town at 9,318 feet, boxed in by avalanche paths, reachable by roads that politely disappear in winter. One grocery store, one gas station, no chain anything. It looks like a ski poster that forgot liability waivers exist. People move here for the mountains. They stay because leaving is complicated. Let's ground this in reality. Population, approximately 650 full-time residents. Everyone notices you. Snowfall, 300 plus inches a year. This is not a hobby. Cost of living, above national average, especially utilities and food. Median home price, roughly $550,000 to $650,000. High altitude, higher price tag. Rent, scarce, seasonal, often $1,500 plus when available. Jobs, tourism, government, trades, or remote when storms don't knock you offline. Crime, low violent crime, but search and rescue gets more action than police. Living in Silverton changes your definition of normal. Emotionally, it's grounding, quiet, honest. Financially, it's fragile, tourism-dependent, weather-controlled, and unforgiving if you're unprepared. But the payoff is real. Unmatched access, real community, and silence that actually means something. Yes, it's beautiful. No, Amazon Prime does not care. Also, winter meetings. Every plan has a disclaimer, unless the pass closes, which it will, at some point. You stop scheduling things and start hoping for them. Weather runs this town like a strict manager with no email. Picture it, early morning, snow muffles everything, coffee steaming, peaks glowing pink, No traffic noise, just wind and the sound of your boots. Then you remember the stat, 300 inches a year, and nod respectfully. A guy on a forum once said, "Silverton is paradise, if you're okay being trapped in it for a while." Like the video. That's not sarcasm, that's informed consent. Subscribe, because knowing which towns will humble you is basically adult survival training.